It's a new era of sports and sports performance. And the reality of it is that elite performance truly is in our DNA. And these are some of the metrics and things that we're able to now measure. Like it's so cool to be able to take the unknown and make it known. We're going to be doing molecular performance. Somebody might say, what is molecular performance? We can actually measure something in your DNA called a single nucleotide polymorphism, which is known as a SNP. And I want to make sure that people understand we're not measuring gene defects. What we're measuring are changes in your DNA, which everybody has this. We call them dirty genes. And I'm going to give you an analogy. It's a very American analogy, and I hope it translates for everybody to understand. Is you know your DNA. Think about your life like a gun. Okay, your DNA loads the gun. Okay, the DNA is what you're born with. That DNA doesn't change. Those SNPs don't change. That's just normal genetics that we have to adapt and live with. But your lifestyle is what pulls the trigger that causes the problem. So if we can identify the lifestyle that you should live to maximize your genetic function, that's what molecular performance is. So literally, it's not focusing on just the end result of the athlete. It's focusing on the cells and the genetic application, which is really what all functional health and nutrition is. We're able to measure in real time reaction of an athlete. This is actually one of the coolest things that we've been able to come up with is, people say a lot of times about athletes, that person has an amazing vision of the field, or they have eyes in the back of their head, or they just have a sense of the game, or their football IQ is high. Well, how do you measure that? We have the ability with the brain reaction time testing and et cetera to measure those things in real time for that individual athlete. We can measure their ability to focus. I mean, think about this. If you have a potential athlete that has all the tools to be an amazing physical athlete, but they lack the ability of mental focus and function, we can now, through certain technologies and techniques, help that coach relate to that player better so they can get maximum outcome out of the focus of their brain. And we all know that elite athletes have just an ability, not just elite athletes, but elite performers in business, in life, and etc., have that ability to laser beam focus, which, I love looking at physiology. I have a saying that we say all the time is that we test, we don't guess. Physiology doesn't lie, right? It's so cool because we can look at your genes, we can look at your brain, we can look at your biohealth metrics, your nutrition and your sleep. You don't have to tell me anything about you. I can tell you about you based off of your cellular and genetic function. That to me is super cool. And like, these are the things that we're bringing to the table because it's literally a new frontier for performance science. And understanding the role of DNA in training is so powerful. What if I told you, and I said this the other day, so what if I told you that we can send a footballer an easy to take really package of an at-home test to fully assess their own specific gene impact on their game performance and overall health and well-being. And that's what we've created. And additionally, we can help these footballers understand how their brain is wired and how to interpret their visual stimuli and how to help them make better split decision seconds. And I mean, think about this. One of the things that I love looking at, especially on the football pitch, penalty kicks. Well, yeah. Think about this. It's literally the goalie has to have that split second. Am I going left, right, up, down? What am I going to do? And we can measure the brain's impulse decision-making and split decision focus to see, all right, if his reaction time is a little slower than it should be, we do X, Y, and Z, nutrition, sleep, and therapeutic, and we can improve that. And by the way, this type of technology is already being used with National Football League players and Major League Baseball players and MLS soccer players. We've even used this with military training with fighter pilots and police officers and other professional sports leagues. So it's really super cool. And when we put all that with the real-time football training, we can bolt this technology that InterAthlete has with truly any type of physical sports performance program that's out there. And putting all those together is, like I said, it's that perfect recipe for the best pizza on the planet, right? So we can do a comprehensive DNA report. And these DNA reports look at over 200 individual SNPs of the athlete. We can measure real-time monitoring of the athlete. What if I told you that there was technology that when a player is on the soccer pitch, we can measure, like, for example, their knee joint when they're running. We can see if that knee is hinging like it's supposed to. If there's a 2 to 3 degree rotation in that hinge joint, which is abnormal for that footballer, we can now tell that coach, hey, that player has a knee injury that they don't know about, or that they're maybe not doing the right exercise and rehab for. And we can then signal what that person should do to fix that and to prevent injuries. Like, this is a total game changer. And we also have the optimized rest and recovery. Like, this is the thing that has really helped so many of our athletes that we've explained this to. You know, your body heals when it sleeps. And if you're not getting the sleep that your own body is blueprinted and programmed for, you know, like a lot of us, we don't sleep as much as we should because we're busy in life. But what if we needed, instead of 6 hours of sleep, 8 or 10 hours of sleep to recover as an athlete? We can tell that athlete how to overcome that. And let's say that athlete doesn't have the time in the day to get 6 to 8 hours. We have technology that we can use to literally tap into the brain mechanics and help that athlete get 4 to 6 hours equivalency of a power nap in 15 to 20 minutes of doing a therapy. So it really is like space level technology that's out there that we're giving to our athletes. You know,
it's powerful. And on a club level, and I want everyone to understand why this conversation is so important. This is where clubs, academies, leagues, etc., are seeking out inner athletes, saying we want this protocol inside of our club. And guys, they have to pay a licensing fee. They have to pay for, right? It's a business, right? It's a business that's serving the sports industry. And again, for those who are participating in the Blockchain Sports Founders Program, if you're at that $25,000 tier, the whole category of sports science and health technology, every business project in that category, you participate in royalties from those categories. And this is the first project of all of the projects in the ecosystem. This is the first project that's ready to go live in the marketplace. Already, the doors are being knocked down. The people are chasing us right now to get their hands on this platform. We want everyone to have the opportunity to participate in this incredible project with Inner Athlete and the integration with the blockchain. I just want to reiterate that all of this data, all of this, it's so powerful to be in a blockchain environment. It's the first time in the world that that's going to have been done. So this is such a great collaboration, such an incredible project that we all get to be a part of. So, Dr. Eric, I just wanted to, bring it around to connect it to what everyone has, because people are getting excited by watching this. Guys, you can actually participate in this and be a part of this project.
You know, Jeremy, to that point, I'll tell you, after I gave the presentation in Dubai, you know, one of the topics that really the footballers, the legends that were there, were the most excited about was when I talked about, you know, Inner Athlete is really more than just an in-game performance enhancement program. By the way, for every sport, we can help with this, but the platform is designed to really quantifiably improve really in-match performance. But more than that, we want to provide what we call a map. And that map is something that I know really synergizes with, you know, our community. It's all about, you know, the mentality of the athlete. We're able to now provide a cognitive profile and guidance from, you know, how to lead these people, how to coach them better, and sports psychology and athleticism. Obviously, that's the thing that most people know about, is the drills and the nutrition and the targeted nutraceuticals. But the purpose, man, like, that's what I'm super excited about, is we're going to be able to use this technology to mentally improve our athletes and anyone who participates in this. It's really goal-driven performance mindset for motivation and resilience. Like, we don't want to just create on-field superhuman athletes. We want to create better human beings. And if you think about this, especially in the football world, some of these kids that get pulled out of school, at the age of 10, 11, 12, and get put into academies. I mean, the opportunities are so powerful for them, but most of those clubs aren't putting in this goal-driven performance and motivation and resilience. And to me, this helps improve the quality of humanity. So it's so awesome when we talked about this. And this was really something that I don't think the footballers thought we were going to be putting in, but it was really such a powerful thing, because you guys all know the importance of that mental focus, that mental toughness, that clarity, that mindset and motivation, and the ability for resilience to overcome things that happen, negatively, if you will, in your life. So that's a huge part of what InterAthlete provides to our athletes as well, which I think is super duper powerful. We're measuring over 200 different genes, and this is just one gene of many, many genes that we measure. And like, Jeremy, you mentioned that we found for you that, one of your health challenges was you did not have the right type of B vitamin. Well, we know that B vitamins are essential for brain function, cardiovascular function, for mental focus, clarity, for just having energy and sleeping well. I mean, it's a big deal. We need those B vitamins, but you had a gene that was out of whack a little bit, called an MTHFR gene. The majority of people have that gene, like 45 to 50% of the population have that gene imbalance. And all that means is that your genes just don't detoxify. Your body doesn't detox as well. And it can lead to all these symptoms.
Well, and Dr. Eric, I can tell you it did. And I've been on this journey of fighting a lot of these symptoms, right? I mean, I can tell you right now, systemic inflammation has always been a big one in my blood work. No matter how clean I was eating or thought I was living, that was there. ADHD, I mean, are you kidding? Like I've dealt with this, right? And it's been a positive, because it's taught me how to become hyper focused, but it's been a challenge, right? The higher likelihood of anxiety, depression, and chronic fatigue. Chronic fatigue has been a curse in my life. Like, as much energy as I have, chronic fatigue has been one of my biggest health challenges. So I'm looking through this list going, this is crazy, right?
Yeah. And what's so cool is we're going to be able, and I really look forward to helping educate the community on every one of those individual little gene tests that we measure, because they're going to look at those and go, oh man, that's me, or oh man, that's our family, or whatever. Because trust me, everybody wants access to this technology, especially athletes. They're always looking for that edge. And like you said, think about this. If we have an athlete that we can get their focus better, their inflammation to go down, I mean, it's amazing. We can reduce the risk of joint injuries. Here, let me show you this. Let me show you this. This is actually really cool. So these are some of the most common injuries associated with football: concussions, wrist injuries, knee problems, ankle issues, calf problems. There are actually genes that we can measure that tell us if you have a higher likelihood of developing an injury to those areas. So let's say we've got, 100 kids in an academy, or maybe more, I don't know, but let's just use 100 of them. What if we were able to have, their team training workouts, which everybody does, but we can have individual exercises and what we call prehab, which is exercises to do to mitigate and reduce the risk of injuries like knee problems, hamstring issues, ankle issues, for those individual athletes that need it based off of their genes. That is a game changer. And the science is 100% correlated with all this. Like, to me, this is one of the secrets that InterAthlete brings to the table that helps unlock the potential, of these athletes. And if we can explain to people the power of this, like it really truly is limitless, because overall health of football players, what they face to specific injuries in their sport is huge. And this was one of the things that the footballers that were in Dubai came and talked to me about afterwards was, man, my career ended because my knee went out, or my Achilles tore, or, my ankle was bad. And they said, you're telling me that you could have shown me that this was an increased risk for me and I could have done certain things to mitigate that? And the answer is, yeah, we could have. So think about that for a minute, how powerful that is. By the way, these are some of the cool technologies that we're bringing: nutrigenomics, brainware, rest and recovery technology, nanotechnology, optimized training, cell signaling recovery
Dr. Eric, I
therapeutics.
just got to say something about the brainware tech. One of the brain devices that you turned me on to, I've never dreamed.
Oh, yeah.
I have not had dreams since I was a kid that I remember that I right interact with. And I just thought, oh well, what it is what it is. But when I started, literally the day I started using one of your brain
Yeah.
technology wearable device at home, that night for the first time in 20 years, I entered a vivid dream and it literally started to wake up some mechanisms in my brain. So this stuff is real.
If think about this from an athlete standpoint. So dreaming is visualization. Well, think
Right.
about the power of an athlete to visualize. I mean, it's well known in sports psychology that if you visualize it, your brain does it, your body doesn't know if you've done it or not. If you visualize it, the brain still thinks that the whole body has done it. So these technologies we have help the body and the athlete and the mind visualize things better, which helps them improve their outcomes. We have limitless potential inside of us already. This inner athlete program allows us to tap into that potential of limitless
Exactly.
possibilities.